Hey, it's Andy with the Spiritual Rehab, and I wanted to talk today about depression and presence. When you're dealing with depression, it's an overwhelming thing. It's this feeling that nothing's going to change, and things are terrible, and they're going to stay terrible. And, it's just that overwhelming feeling of what's the point? You're so overcome with pain, the pain of being alive. And depression has this way of limiting your imagination. You can't imagine that you're ever going to feel better. You can't imagine how you're going to feel better. And you can't imagine just ever wanting to get out of bed. I mean, I've been stuck in bed for days at a time, and just so it's just this spiral that starts, and then you just get sucked deeper and deeper into it. But what I've found is focusing on your presence, on where you are, on the moment right now, is a really good way to start lifting you out of that hole. And I mean, I know what it's like to be in that place where it's just so it feels like nothing will ever pull you out of it, and you can't imagine ever feeling better. And it just takes away your hope, and it takes away, it takes away your imagination. When you're in a good place, you can imagine maybe you've got an event coming up, or maybe you're going to see a friend or something, or maybe you're going to cook yourself a nice dinner or something, and you're looking forward to it. But when you're depressed, there's nothing to look forward to. And I found that when you can focus on your presence, you don't worry about tomorrow, and you don't worry about an hour from now. You just focus on your surroundings. And even when you're stuck in bed and, it's just like the whole world seems like it's crushing you down, I'll focus on the soft bed and the covers that are keeping me warm, and I appreciate, I try to do some gratitude. I appreciate that I'm not out on the streets. Usually when I'm really down, I'm not hungry. My appetite goes away, but occasionally I'll get up and eat something, and I'm appreciative that I have something to eat. I don't have much contact with my family when I'm really down. I mean, I don't want it, but if the kids are home and I can hear them, I can just appreciate that they are there and they are interacting. And when they get hard to deal with, then I appreciate that I don't have to deal with them in that moment. So it's just focusing on that moment and the good things that are there. And they can be the tiniest things, I have focused on pain that has gone away. I have problems with my joints sometimes. So my left elbow my left shoulder is really bad. But there are times when it feels good. So I'll be like, oh, today it feels good. I can move it without any cracks or discomfort. There's so many things. If you can look outside a window and look at a tree or look at the sky, and I mean a sunny day or a rainy day. I mean, I like the rainy days too. So, you can just appreciate anything around you, and just focusing on that moment, focusing on what is good about what is around you. And I've noticed that it doesn't necessarily lift me up immediately, but it starts to shift the mood from continuing to spiral down. I start to focus less on the fact that I'm never going to feel any better. Which of course is wrong, but that's how I feel in the moment. So staying present, I start to focus less on what's going to happen. When I'm really down, I'm convinced I'm never going to get any better. So by staying focused in the moment, I forget about the future. I forget about that. You know, you get so overwhelmed when you think, I feel lousy right now, and I'm always going to feel that way. When depression really hits, you can't imagine ever feeling better. I'm never going to feel better. If I stay focused in the moment, right here, then I forget about the future, and that takes a huge load off my mind. I just don't think about it. I don't think that maybe it'll get better. I don't think of ways that it will get better. I just forget about it. I just stay where I am right now. Focus on a couple awesome things or decent things, whatever you can psych yourself up to. You know, I rarely get excited when I'm really depressed, but I can feel some gratitude. Again, I've got a comfortable place to lie down and rest my head. And I look out the window. Maybe I pick up a book. A lot of times I don't feel like reading, but sometimes I can force myself to read a few paragraphs of something inspiring. Sometimes I resent the author for feeling so good when I feel so crummy. But you know, you can find something that works. And I'll look at pictures a lot of times. Happy memories I had, and just not worrying about the future. And then sometimes the pictures will bring up memories of the past, so sometimes you don't want to do that. But just staying present. Forget about everything else. It's out of your control, and you don't have to deal with any of it. You do not have to deal with your past. You do not have to deal with your future. You're not being irresponsible. You just don't have to focus on any of that stuff. And let's face it, that's a lot of what leads to depression, is this overwhelming fear of the future and the regret of the past. So when we can forget about that stuff, because we can't really do anything. Well, you can't do anything to change your past, and you can't do much to improve your future when you're in a really bad place. So I have found that letting myself be in that bad place and just forgetting about the past and the future and focusing on a couple of decent things, my comfortable bed, you know, the tree outside the window, whatever, very simple, easy things, helps me forget all that stuff. And you know, one thing for me that leads to depression is the guilt that I feel from the past. Forgetting about that stuff is not irresponsible. It is absolutely a waste of time. It is absolutely, you're not helping anyone by feeling guilty. The person that you hurt, or the people, do not improve their situation through your feelings of guilt. It doesn't work. You feeling bad doesn't help anybody. So that can be kind of a thing, like you start to have this argument in your head, well, you know, I should feel bad and all this. But if you can just forget about it, just forget about the past, forget about the future, stay right here, right now, and focus on one or two things that are decent, that are good, that are happening, and that stops the downward spiral. And that helps you level out, and then in some time you can start to work your way back up. That's what works for me. So keep that in mind. If you're feeling down today, try to stay focused on right now and anything that's good. Are you wearing a shirt that you like? You know, it can be the simplest, easiest things. But staying present, staying right here, and forgetting about the weight of all that crap will really help. get yourself out of that spiral and that feeling stuck in that depressed place. So try that. And I do free coaching calls for anyone who is interested in maybe doing some work with a coach. So if you want to reach out, you can PM me, and we would do a free call, usually about an hour. And if you want to, I hope to hear from you. So it's Andy with Love, Julie, and Andy and the Spiritual Rehab. It's all about the peace, the love, and the understanding. Have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you soon.